was going man-to-man early on.
That's Matt Ratliff. His cousin is also on the team, Fred Ratliff, who has the basketball right now. Paintsville looks content to move it around. Williamsburg looks content to play that tough defense. We've got a 5-second call, so right off the bat, the defense pays off.
Good defense. They got to get it over every time, so you know Paintsville's going to.
They need a will start the fast break. Jay Lunds tries to dish it underneath to West. That one's tipped out of bounds. Good hustle back by Paintsville.
Excellent hustle, and you know, Big JR, he can get back on defense quick for a big guy. They list him at 6'9", maybe 6'10".
Very smooth-looking athlete out there. He's got the long arms. If you had to say a high school player to a pro, again, you like to do that, maybe a Kevin McHale-looking player.
Sure.
McHale was very graceful, among other things. Ryan Wilson tries to show it, and this time he does. Ryan Wilson with the first 3 points for Williamsburg. He averages 28 points and 14 rebounds, so he'll get a lot more probably by the end of the game. This time Ratliff can't get it, but there's Van Hoos at the free throw line. And the key there, John, is he wasn't underneath, but he was in good position. He was ready for the basketball. A 2-point lead, 5-3 early. We're showing 5:45 on the clock in the first period, and this is the semifinal of the YMT Classic. Van Hoos, who averages a bushel basket full of rebounds, 12 to be exact, 14 points and 12 rebounds, clears that one. Paintsville trying to work the basketball, but that's good defense. That time West got in front of his man Brian Lyon and slapped it away. Lyon, who's about 6'6", can also go underneath as well as play outside.
Looks like the Jackets are going to try to set up the offense. Maybe try to slow down the up-tempo game a little bit.
Paintsville kind of trying to play that man out there, John, but when you got a guy like Wilson, you got to play him tough. And that time the foul called, so Ryan Wilson already showing his presence.
That's true. Looks like the foul may be on Brian Lyon. No, correction, that's Craig Ratliff. That's going to be his first foul.
Gonzalez swings it back out. Hodges the basketball. Wilson again. Met time a little out of control, but good position, and that's a secret. Jay Lunds had the interior position that time on the Paintsville player Todd Tackett, only a freshman underneath Tackett is, and Lunds was smart. He's probably 3 or 4 inches minimum shorter, but he had position. This will be the inbounds for Williamsburg, again trailing by 2 points. They need to be patient. Both of these teams be good opponents to get here. They can play, but that time a walk called on West. And Roy West is an interesting story. He scored the first 6 against Napier earlier, but he struggled early in the season. He's been coming out as of late. They'll rotate 3 players at the forward positions, Tim Collins, Sean Collett, and also West. Greg Ratliff averages 19, swings it down low to Lyon. He can't get it to fall, but that's the interesting part of his game.
Good interior pass, and they knew they were going to try to eat up Ryan Wilson down there, and they got him.
Whenever you have a guy like Brian Lyon, who's 6'6", that can play outside and inside, that poses a lot of problems for the defense. And that time he showed what he can do, because he can front up on the guards And Lyon, not a bad player. 64% from the free throw line is what this team shoots, which is pretty good, but Lyon misses the first one. Van Hoos for the rebound, can't get it, and there's Wilson. He might miss one, but he's not going to miss many. Wait for the big man to get down the floor, and they'll slow it down.
Good decision on the part of number 14 there, Craig Hodges, as we talked about. Trying to slow down the offense, and you see it's going to give him a foul.
Talking about posing a problem, Robbie Gonzalez is an interesting example of that. That time he drove to the bucket and took the foul. We'll be right back after this break.
Napier Family Drug, downtown Hyman's, the place to go for all of your pharmacy needs. While your prescription's being filled, you can enjoy a great lunch at the lunch counter or just browse around and see what they have to offer. They carry brand name fragrances for men and women. Napier Family Drug also features a full line of candies from Russell Stover, and what a better way to make someone's day than a greeting card. Come by Napier Family Drug Store, downtown Hyman. The First National Bank of Manchester turns 90 years old this year, and we think that's something to celebrate. For 90 years, the First National Bank of Manchester has provided their customers with good, solid financial services. A recent accomplishment being the 1994 Personal Economics Program Bank of the Year. First National Bank of Manchester is proud to be a leader in the financial education of their community, and you know, this is just the beginning. Member FDIC.
And we're back with Williamsburg holding a 2-point edge, 5-3, and they have the basketball. Swinging it around, Gonzalez at the key. And so far, John, I'd say the key has really been Williamsburg's defense.
Well, Williamsburg on offense trying to slow it down for sure, but they're good move by number 33.
That is Robbie Gonzalez. He's been coming on a big body, scoring a lot of points, averages 9 on the season. But right away, Lyon, who averages 19, comes right back, and it's a 7-5 ball game, showing 3:44 on the clock. And we have a very competitive and low-scoring basketball game thus far, as you might expect in a tournament with a lot of intensity. Gonzalez playing with confidence, and that will be a key. When Robbie Gonzalez seems to go, that's a big lift for Ryan Wilson.
He's got the hot hand right now, and you know they're going to try to put it in his hand.
Todd Tackett, the freshman, an underrated player, to Craig Ratliff. That's not where they want him shooting the basketball. But once again, Ratliff comes through and doing the job. And John, let me correct myself. Tackett with the rebound that time for Paintsville.
Well, Greg Hodges picks up a 13 foul. That's his first right now.
Paintsville, so much height, you have to box out if you're Williamsburg. If you want to be effective, you have to lay a body on him after that first shot.
Yeah, number 33, Gonzalez is absolutely holding on to Craig Ratliff. He knew he was getting ready to get open. Went ahead and grabbed him around the waist, and you'll get caught like that in the lane every time.
Gonzalez giving up about 5 inches to Ratliff, so that may explain why. No substitution for height. You have to play aggressive, and it gets very tiring. You'll see how much the conditioning pays off for Williamsburg. Nice pass from Tackett into Ratliff, and that's where Greg Ratliff, who scores about 19 points, needs to shoot the basketball. 2-point game, 9-7. Still in the first period, about close to 3 minutes, just a shade under to go. So Williamsburg must be feeling pretty good. Again, they came in with the mentality that we just want to stay in the game, do what we can, and we want to get a victory out of the thing if possible. They didn't come here to lose, that's for sure.
Patiently setting up the offense, and of course that worked for Breathitt County last night against Allen Central.
Wilson, the 6'9" frame, can't get at the ball, shows a little frustration, but gets back down the court, and that's important for Williamsburg if they play the defense. Ryan Lyon comes up with this shot in the lane, and it's a 4-point lead for Paintsville, 11-7, and John, Brian Lyon's off to a pretty good start.
A couple of baskets already, so maybe he might be the shooter that they need.
Williamsburg looking for Wilson. They can't find him. It's Hodges from the outside. He's their second leading scorer at 12 a game. But they come back with the rebound, and you got to expect Wilson to try to go up with an excellent defense. But Gonzalez again can't get at the ball, and there's Van Hoos. On the break, there he goes again. Lyon, 2 more. Ryan Lyon came to play tonight, folks. 13-7, the lead for Paintsville. This is an important time for Williamsburg. Lunds, and that's when I talked to the coach of Williamsburg, Bill Perkins, says Lunds is a real competitor, and that time he showed it.
Great drive.
Paintsville playing very patient. No question, are looking for Lyon, who gets the ball stolen. And here comes the Yellow Jackets down the court. They want to play an up-tempo game. And Hodges takes it. That basket probably wouldn't have counted anyway, John, but nonetheless, that's what the coach wanted to do. But you see some of the Williamsburg players maybe sucking a little bit of air.
Well, it looks like they're going to try to give them a blowout on the floor. 23, 32, and 22 will set up your lineups for Paintsville.
Yeah, we're looking
coming off the bench. It's Brad Sargent, Jimmy Wayne Frazier, and Josh McKenzie, and that's the rotation that Paintsville's been using so far with a lot of success.
You won't see Paintsville probably play more than 8 players unless it's an absolute emergency or a blowout, something you don't see very often. Ryan Wilson's shot is rejected. Back down the court comes Paintsville. Lyon trying to force it a little bit, but he draws the foul from Hodges.
That's Hodges' second, so he may be maybe heading for the bench anytime soon. Yeah, looks like number 32's coming in for Hodges. He's going to be in foul trouble. That's Mark Vernon coming off the bench.
Anybody who follows mountain basketball is familiar with Coach Randy Vernon of Cumberland. That's Mark's dad. Bad shot that time, and something unusual for Lyon. Maybe a little bit of impatience, and here comes Williamsburg. The little man Lunds tried it with the left hand, won't get at the ball, and Paintsville Ratliff will just hang on to it a little bit. Fresh bodies in the game for Paintsville, and they're going to try to use them. Nice dish underneath, but it won't go. Back up for Paintsville. That won't go, and the rebound out to Williamsburg.
Heads up play by Brian Lyon.
Excuse me, John. It sure was. Both teams a little bit out of control right now.
Nice interior pass.
And a nice bucket also underneath. So it's Josh McKenzie. The word on him, he's a banger inside. And he showed the ability there. I think he averages around 4 points per ball game. He's a pretty big guy at about 6'5", but he's a big body.
So he's going to go for the conventional three-point play, and that's Tim Collins is in the game now for Williamsburg, and he picks up a foul early.
About 28 seconds on the clock, so you wonder if Williamsburg will go for the last shot after this. And right now it could be a 7-point lead, and it is for Paintsville. 16-9 your score as clock ticks down on the first period of our WYMT first semifinal game, Paintsville and Williamsburg.
Jimmy Wayne Frazier got away with a little push off of lunch there.
Nice ball control. Gonzalez swings it under the Wilson for the jam. Oh, yeah, that hurt honestly.
He thought he was wide open, and you know that's a high percentage shot.
Back comes Williamsburg. Wilson playing all over the court, and the big guy hasn't got a lot of points, but he has made his presence known. That's what I think this team needed. We've got a 5-point game, 8 seconds to go. Paintsville on the inbounds, and swinging the basketball is Jimmy Wayne Frazier out to Brad Sargent. Lyon can't get at the ball at the buzzer, and folks, we've got a basketball game. At the end of the first period, it's Paintsville 16, Williamsburg 11. We're coming right back.
What a way to start the new year with a new home and money back, too, during Randall's Mobile Home Market's January Best Buy. Check out the large inventory of homes Randall's has in stock at both locations, all with the latest designs and decors. Plus, you will receive $1,000 cash back on all new single homes, or $2,000 cash back on all new double wide and modular homes. And your interest rate is locked in at 10.99%. Hurry on into either location of Randall's Mobile Home Markets, Middlesboro or Manchester during January's Best Buy.
At Cooley Medical, our patients rely on 24-hour emergency service.
At 1 a.m., I noticed Mother's breathing. I checked on her breathing, then called Cooley Medical.
A Cooley Medical technician is just a phone call away. Our emergency service technicians are always ready to go the extra mile. You can depend on us for accurate response and delivery. For Eastern Kentucky, there is a leader in home health care, 24 hours a day. Cooley Medical.
And we're back for the second quarter. It's a 5-point lead for Paintsville, but Williamsburg hanging tough. Ryan Wilson had 5 points in the first period. Below his average score is that one. We've got a 3-point ball game.
Paintsville shooting 60% from the field in the first quarter, so you know they like to continue that with Brian Lyon in the hot hand.
That is definitely something that Coach Bill Mike Runyon for Paintsville definitely must like. Greg Ratliff fighting for the ball inside. When you have that kind of advantage, John, with height, you have to like it. And that foul was on Tim Collins, I believe, number 40.
So that's his second, and he was coming off the bench, so we may see him take a seat here anytime soon.
Greg Ratliff is a very athletic ball player. He's about 6'8", but he can run the court, and he has a pretty nice touch, as shown there, as he expands his team's lead to 4. Ratliff what does he have, 3 points at this stage of the ball game. So we're still early in the second period, 7:46 on the clock. If he makes this one, it's 18-13, which he misses it. So we're stuck at a 4-point ball game. And look who gets the rebound.
Adding to his rebound percentage.
Jay Lunds, they list him at 5'8", and
that's a stretch.
That is a stretch. So, you know, and it's not a knock to him, it's a compliment because he's a great little ball player out there. The coach told me he's extremely competitive, his biggest attribute. Nice dish inside to Wilson, and give a nice assist on that play to number 40, Tim Collins. They rotated the forward position, and Collins so far looking good. Wilson scored the first 2 buckets for Williamsburg. There goes the freshman. And Tackett's not a big scorer. He throws about 4 assists around, but they say he's very underrated on his team, which you can see with a lot of stars.
Well, too many Paintsville players try to get back on defense before the ball even went anywhere close.
Gonzalez doing a nice follow. Did you see that? What kind of team can this be with Todd Tackett and J.R. Van Hoos, both freshmen? 21-17 your score, folks. 6:44. The action is picking up. Jay Lunds will slow it down a little bit, the point guard, and some of the Williamsburg players, the biggest concern I would have for their squad is fatigue because they're playing hard right now.
You got to wonder if they can play 4 quarters that way.
And then again in tournaments, a lot of teams rise to the occasion. A steal for Paintsville, and Ratliff goes to the hole, but not even close. Vernon on the other side, he's a freshman, and that's a compliment to Vernon because Coach Perkins tells me he doesn't play many freshmen. When you have a coach's son, like his coach, Randy Vernon, who won 400 games already at Cumberland, you know the kid's smart.
It's in the blood.
Ryan Wilson, again, he's been a one-man machine as he cuts the lead to 2:21-19. Boy, East Tennessee State is his school, and this kid can only get better. Ratliff turns around, not on the mark, and he rips the rebound from Van Hoos. He says, freshman, that's mine. Wilson take it from the outside, swings it around. Luntz forces a shot, not a good move against a bigger opponent. And Wilson is saying, if I have to hold the ball, I'll do it myself. Let's slow it down.
Nice interior pass, couldn't get anything done against Van Hoos.
When Van Hoos puts the body on you, it's not easy to get around the big body. Lyon outside, one of the big scorers. Paintsville looks like they're trying to find a rhythm, and they just can't do it. That time, Van Hoos returned the favor to Wilson. He got the good position, and they need not get Wilson into foul trouble.
Wilson can't believe it. That's his second foul. Paintsville in the bonus now. Going into the game for Williamsburg, it's Craig Hodges and number 35, Roy West, those 2 starters back into the game.
Hodges has yet to show the outside shot. His coach had told me that he can really shoot it from out there, but you know, we'll see what happens. Van Hoos drains the first, 14 points and 12 rebounds. But the thing about a freshman that people have to realize, he's played varsity as an 8th grader, but he gets better every game. Second one good also, 23-19. The Yellow Jackets in control of the ball game by 4, if you want to call it that. Roy West in control of the basketball. Coach Bill Mike Runyon looking for his team to pick up the defensive intensity. Lunds controls their little point guard at about 5'8". Gonzalez inside to Wilson. Bad pass, but Roy West is rejected by Van Hoos.
Well, they were doubling down on Ryan Wilson.
The other side, and that's a hard foul. question about that. Roy West, and he let Ratliff know, fella, I'm on the court too. And we've got a 23-19 ball game, folks. We're looking at 4:39 showing on the clock. Things have gotten a little bit messy. I think the biggest problem, John, for Williamsburg on the offensive end is they're getting tired.
Well, they really are. You can see some of the guys out there grabbing the bottom of their shorts. And when you start running 2 full quarters like that, not even 2 full quarters, you know that you're going to get a little tired and a little frustrated when they start running back on offense that way.
Ratliff sinks the first one. He's looked good from the free throw line, which is so important when you're a big guy and you can get to the charity stripe and make them. It'd be the largest lead in a while if he hits this one, but he can't, so I've jinxed him again. But we have a lane violation, so he'll be back up there.
Looks like Wilson may have jumped off a little quick there, trying to get the rebound.
6'8", Ratliff eyes it up, and Wilson yanks it down. He can rebound, folks, and he can also score. One of the best big men in the state, period. Lund's having trouble with the basketball. 24-19, you score. You can see the Yellow Jackets with the basketball. Jay Lunds to Wilson, who will shoot it and will score. That is what you call a touch. Right back, Brian Lyon will go strong.
Good move on the interior there by Brian Lyon. Not afraid to take it up in the big trees.
The thing that I like about Lyon, he's fearless. He always looks for a shot. And that's what you want to see in a score, is the guy who's not afraid to go to the hole or take it from the outside.
Well, the foul is on Gonzalez. That's his second.
The free throw is good. Your score, folks, is 27 for Paintsville, 21 for Williamsburg, 4:10 on the clock. We're coming right back.
Get a great deal on a new car at Cardinal Chevrolet Cadillac Geo. Are you ready for a great deal? A money-saving party. We got new and used car, trucks, and vans. We'll get you kick-started. Yeah, our service and selection are out of sight. Come deal with us, we're gonna treat you right. Cardinal Chevrolet Cadillac Geo.
When nature calls, return the call on a Honda 4Trax all-terrain vehicle. Honda 4Trax ATVs, made in the USA, for fun in the USA.
Come by Andy's Honda and check out the 2-wheel and 4-wheel Hondas that have just arrived.
We're back. It's a 6-point lead for Paintsville. Williamsburg with the basketball. And I'll tell you what, John, I've been as impressed with Ryan Wilson so far for Williamsburg as any player I've seen so far this year.
And I tell you what, Paintsville Press is still shooting 60% from the field.
Paintsville has done a good job, but they play an aggressive brand of basketball as Roy West steps up to the free throw line, and that's their style. They attack.
Really, you know, these are the first free throws for Williamsburg.
First, and that's a tough way to hold the road when you're trying to play a team, and that's understandable when you're at a height disadvantage. Other than Wilson, they're not very big, and Paintsville's been earning the charity stripes, but Williamsburg makes the most of the first one and cuts it to 5. Roy West, again, a guy that rotates. He's a senior at the forward spot with a couple of the others, and Roy West hits his shots.
And those are his first 2 of the game, so he's really had to earn them.
Paintsville getting the ball up court pretty easily. Ratliff to Ratliff, their cousins, and Greg scores it. Nice passing. That's been a big knock if Paintsville's had one, is the way they've played as a team. So far, they've had a lot of good teamwork, and that could mean a lot of trouble for opponents in this tournament.
And they seem to be a little more aware tonight of where the open man is and not just trying to take up the shot as quick as they can.
And that's hard for high school kids a lot of times in games like this. They want to get it. That time, Lyon just takes it from Gonzalez, who didn't like it one bit. Pack it inside to Van Hoos, looks for the glass, but there's his teammate. He'll say, hey, I'll take the assist, and Ratliff has really stepped it up. Craig Ratliff is picking his game up.
Ryan Wilson getting a little bit frustrated. And so frustrated, in fact, that we're going to get a timeout.
Yeah, we've got a timeout, John, and while we've got a moment, let's talk about the WYMT tournament. We're looking at a 31-23 score. Now, we've got this game now, and tonight's game is going to be interesting as well. We'll talk about that more later. Keith Casebolt, Jim Frazier will have the call. Then, of course, we'll be up with sports overtime after that. But that'll be Breathitt County and Knott, so that should also be an interesting ball game.
Last night, I'll tell you what, Knott County, we talked with David Stanford yesterday at Mountain News at 6, and we talked about how important the home court advantage was. A big crowd was out on hand tonight, and a big crowd out tonight. And we'll see Knott Central probably has a little bit of an advantage over Breathitt County.
We'll get back to this game for a moment. What are we hearing now inside the huddle? What do you think we're talking about with Bill Mike Runyon in there? What's he telling us to?
Well, I'd say Coach Runyon is just saying keep playing the way you're playing. They're shooting well from the field at 60%. And, you know, get on the rebounds and get down low. But I tell you what, I think we're going to see a lot of J.R. Van Hoos and Ryan Wilson get down low on into the second half.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. And John, we're back to action on the court now, and they got they got another cameo of us. I'm sweating over here, and they catch me then. You guys got to inform me a little bit so I can be ready for the camera. But anyway, 31-23 your score, 3 minutes and 11 seconds to play in the second period. It's the lead is with Paintsville, but I wouldn't think that Coach Bill Perkins would be disappointed with the Yellow Jackets' hustle.
Well, we should be getting back to play here, and we'll see Williamsburg. Looks like they're going to keep the starters they had in earlier.
One man who is in there, John, is Tim Collins at the forward position. He may have replaced Roy West, but that would be about the only change. And of course, Vernon at the guard position. Ratliff the ball outside. Nice swing pass to Van Hoos. There you see the advantage of the height. Vernon was on him. He stands at 5'11". Van Hoos at 6'9" or taller. So there's no mismatch there. It's obvious how big the mismatch is.
Good defense from Paintsville, and although they did turn it over, well, not really turn it over, but a good trap here at center line. And Williamsburg could have a problem with that on through the game.
Bill Mike Runyon's club is playing tough. They have since the game started, and they're looking to play some tough defense now. Tackett, the freshman on the outside, playing the D, playing the tough D on Hodges. He shut him down. Vernon from the outside, not even close for the freshman, and Paintsville controls. 10-point advantage, 2:21 to play. And they'll get him for the block, and that one will be on Vernon. When you're a freshman trying to play against Brian Lyon, that's no easy task.
No, it's not. And Brian Lyon knows how to avoid the charge, and Mark Vernon just didn't have position in time.
One of the more difficult calls. You hear it so much for the official because it's such a hairline kind of call. That time it goes in the favor of Paintsville, who controls the miss, and Van Hoos with the foul. And a 12-point lead, just like that, to Paintsville.
Paintsville showing the press for the first time, kind of a token press. Good traps.
Williamsburg does a good job against it. Vernon not in a hurry, I don't think, to shoot the basketball again after the last one. He'll pass this one off. Good tip away that time by Ratliff. And once again, there goes Lyon. An easy miss that time. It could have been another basket. Williamsburg escapes, and if they can capitalize here, it'll be a big turnaround. Good block down low. Oh, how they needed that one to fall for Wilson, because what we were looking at, folks, it was 35-23. That would have been a 14-point lead for Paintsville, but they barely missed an easy shot. And here Wilson comes back down. If he sinks this one, they get back to 10 points, and that is a big turnaround at this stage.
And you know, Williamsburg still not in the bonus. Jay Luntz back into the game now.
First one is perfect for Ryan Wilson, one of the leaders in the state in scoring at 28, the leader in rebounding at last check at 14. He can cut it to 35-25, but he does not. Craig Ratliff clears out to his cousin, the other Ratliff, for the alley-oop. Not a good decision there. One of the few bad ones they've made.
Of course, that's been a combination that's worked well, but that alley-oop almost went in.
Wilson with the travel, but don't be mistaken, it was the tough defense that caused it.
Wilson still frustrated, and I think Coach Bill Perkins might try to get him calmed down a little bit, just attempt to keep his head in the game. Only a minute, 23 seconds left at halftime.
speaking of Coach Perkins, he told me he's just happy that his team's here. He said, it beats the heck out of watching it on television. I don't know what he meant by that, but he said he's glad to be at the court. Craig Ratliff looking outside, going inside. Sargent in the game, a heady senior out there who knows what it takes. He's been around this program. Lyon, very talented, and that's why he scores that one. And John, how many points, if you could check it for Lyon for us?
11 points for Lyon so far.
Lyon has that rare ability to go inside or outside. I think he'll make a good college player. I like the play so far of Collins so far. He's played well. He came into this game averaging 5 points. He's already bettered that, if I'm not mistaken, or he's close to it.
Well, unofficially, we've got him down for just that was his first basket, so that's unofficial right now.
Paintsville is playing patient on offense. In Williamsburg, I believe that foul goes against Hodges, and that is danger because that's his third foul, and Hodges has been ineffective in this game. John, he's been averaging 12.
He really is. Hodges is third foul, as you mentioned, and so far, no points as we got so far. So you got to wonder if he's going to hopefully have a better second half, but you know he's going to be a little tentative.
Play on the perimeter has been totally dominated by Paintsville in this basketball game. They lead at 37-26. We're down to 24 seconds on the clock, so it's kind of like the last NBA shot clock here. 18 and ticking for Williamsburg. They will hold it, it looks like, for the last shot. I thought.
Well, Wilson thought he might have gotten called for the walk, but it looks like it's going to be a foul, and Craig Ratliff cannot believe it. His second foul. Well, going to the game for Paintsville will be number 22, Jimmy Wayne Frazier. And one of the three that come off the bench in that rotation, he'll replace Ratliff.
This has been one of those rare games where you really have to say, without trying to hype the game, that both teams are playing pretty well. I don't think that the effort has been there for both teams. I do feel the effort has been there. Their shooting hasn't been what they'd like, but I think that the effort has been there defensively for both squads.
Definitely, and with 12 seconds to go, they're going to take Ryan Wilson out, and we'll get our first look at Sean Collins.
Right back comes Ryan. He swings it to Tackett, who buries a Ratliff. Ratliff buries it from the outside, and there you go, folks. It's halftime, and they enlarge their lead to 40-26. And folks, we're coming right back with more.
Confidence is a big part of succeeding in business today. And as Eastern Kentucky's supplier of quality Caterpillar equipment and service, Wayne Supply has built a reputation on the confidence of our customers. Confidence in knowing we'll come through with just the right equipment for the right job, big or small. And confidence in knowing that everything Wayne sells is backed by the best and most complete parts and service support to keep you on the job with less downtime. Whatever your needs in Eastern Kentucky, contact your nearest Wayne Supply branch. Wayne supplies confidence.
Are you interested in a career in athletic training? Union College offers a major in athletic training where students gain knowledge of the profession with practical, hands-on experience. Student athletic trainers develop injury recognition and the latest rehabilitation techniques as they work their way toward an exciting career in a fast-growing profession. Find out what sets Union's athletic training program apart from the rest. Call today for more information. Union College, quality education close to home.
You know what you want your bathroom to look like, but don't know where to start? Then call the professionals at Brock McVeigh in Prestonsburg toll-free. Brock McVeigh's well-trained staff can help you coordinate your bath with lighting, vanities, marble tops, tubs, brass accessories, and even whirlpools. And Brock McVeigh is the only registered Kohler showroom in the area. So whether you're building or remodeling or adding those finishing touches, see Brock McVeigh in Prestonsburg.
Every hard-working miner knows what it's like to live with danger lurking over their shoulder. Danger from rock falls, explosions, machinery, and black lung threatening to destroy their livelihood. And when miners need help protecting their rights, they call Wilson & Stanley attorneys. Wilson & Stanley wins successful settlements in over 9 out of 10 cases, and consultation is always free. Sometimes it's a real comfort to have a mighty good friend like Wilson & Stanley attorney.
Hello. I hope you are enjoying our 8th live telecast of the 8th Annual WYMT-TV Wayne Supply Mountain Basketball Classic. For 8 years now, this tournament has brought together 8 of the outstanding basketball teams from KHSAA Regions 13, 14, and 15, with 4 teams performing twice on live television to a potential audience of 200,000 East Kentucky households. We recognize the tremendous value high school athletic competition has for our young students. The tradition and heritage of mountain basketball is a source of pride for us all. We feel the gathering of mountain neighbors for a common purpose at an athletic event can enhance relations for the benefit of the entire region. And WYMT-TV joins Wayne Supply in a commitment to recognize and reward outstanding mountain students. Proceeds from ticket sales and contributions have funded 69 $1,000 scholarships to Eastern Kentucky scholars. A number of Kentucky colleges and universities have pledged to match that $1,000 scholarship, and many renew their match for the remaining 3 years of our young students' education process. The gathering of all these efforts and resources has enabled this tournament to generate over $182,000 that has gone directly to East Kentucky schools and students. My appreciation goes to the WYMT Mountain Classic Committee, whose members have given long hours of their time and knowledge to make all aspects of this tournament possible. A great debt of gratitude is due to the following individuals who represent the Classic Committee. From the 13th region, we have Bill Adams of Pineville, John Broom of Williamsburg, and Jeff Canady of Barberville. From the 14th region, Vesper Singleton of Hindman, the committee's chairman, Astor Cat Sizemore of Hazard, and Jim Fields of Whitesburg. From the 15th region, Virgil Osborne of Virgie and Paul Hughes of Prestonsburg. The tournament manager is Tommy Hall of Hindman, and our WYMT coordinator is Jim Frazier of Allen. Above all, my thanks are extended to you, the fans of mountain basketball, because it is your support that will sustain this tournament's success. Enjoy the games.
There's never been a better time to trade than now with Pikeville National Special Trade-In Allowance. Show us your checkbook from another bank. We'll give you your first order of 200 standard design checks free and waive the monthly maintenance fee for your new Pikeville National regular checking account for 6 months. We have a lot to offer our customers. It's trade-in time. Try us. You'll like banking with us. Pikeville National Bank and Trust Company. Member FDIC.
It will open your eyes and turn heads. It is smart. It's about getting more power and better handling, more miles per gallon, and more style, inside and out. It's about choice, 2 doors or 4 doors. These are the times. This is the car. It's the all-new Tercel from Toyota.
In Kentucky, basketball is king, but there's only one king of comfort.
Hello, I'm Jim Skaggs of Big Sandy Heating and Air Conditioning. I've earned the title the King of Comfort by providing my customers with Lennox high-efficiency heat pumps. In fact, we've sold more high-efficiency Lennox heat pumps than any other dealer in Eastern Kentucky. And because we custom fabricate your ductwork, your efficiency and comfort will be even greater. Call me today at 297-HEAT or 297-COOL.
Pros wear Russell Athletic because it's made tough. It has to be.
Hey, kid! Hey, you got my lucky jersey.
Yeah?
Can I have it back?
You gotta be kidding.
You little pipsqueak.
No!
You want athletic wear that can survive anything?
Oh.
Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
And welcome back. We're at halftime at the Morton Combs Athletic Complex in our first semifinal game. It's 40-26. Paintsville leads Williamsburg at halftime. Our own Keith Farmer is standing by with Arlen Pruitt in the marketing department of Wayne Supply. Keith?
All right, thanks, Todd. And we are enjoying this first half. Paintsville, of course, leading at 40-26. We actually, Arlen, have a pretty good crowd out here tonight for a snowy day.
Excellent crowd. The people of the community are to be commended on coming out on such a bad night.
Now, we have mentioned that this whole event is a great time to see some great basketball, and boy, we've had 8 great teams in this event tonight and through the week.
but it's also a great chance to do something more, a little bit with scholastic help.
Yes, the scholarship that's given away through this tournament has been a great asset to the community, and by giving these scholarships, it gives these kids an opportunity to get a college education.
I guess it makes you proud being part of Wayne, being able to help out some of these kids and to watch them go on through the college.
Wayne is extremely proud to be a part of a tournament such as this. Anytime we can be of service to our community, we're there.
Now, what about this event? We've had 8 great teams in here. You've been able to watch all games, I'm sure, and you say you like this Paintsville team.
Paintsville is very strong. Breathitt County looked real good last night. Probably the best balanced tournament we've had so far in the 8 tournaments that we had.
It's been great to see some of these teams coming in from 13th, 14th, and 15th region. I guess it's going to be hard to top this next year, but we'll give it a shot, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Arlen. And one thing we want to let you know about, we're wanting to take a look right now at some of the stats as far as Wilson and Van Hoos. Ryan Wilson from Williamsburg, of course, the big 6'9" center, and J.R. Van Hoos from Paintsville. Boy, these two matching up. They're not quite taking on each other on the offensive and defensive ends, but here is what they're doing. Wilson has 14 points at the half, only 3 rebounds, no blocked shots. However, Van Hoos, 8 points. He's dominating the boards with 7 rebounds, and he also has 2 blocked shots. When we return, we'll have second half action with Todd and John.
Commitment and concern for the people and economy of Eastern Kentucky is echoed throughout our operations. At Lost Mountain, Starfire, and Buckhorn Processing, our skilled and productive workforce make the best use of the most modern equipment available. Through careful planning and sound business decisions by responsible management, the families of Cypress Mountain Coal are assured of stability and job security for their future generations. Cypress Mountain Coals, mountain people.
Now, Taco Bell brings you all your supreme favorites for free.
Sour cream, I want to top your taco, can't you see?
And who could forget
My tomato.
Elsewhere, you'd pay hundreds of dollars for sour cream and tomatoes. But at Taco Bell, they're free when you buy an original 59-cent taco.
Taco Man.
Taco Bell cashiers are standing by, so order today.
The following confusing message is brought to you by Quick Mart stores and Quick Shop stores, which will soon become Double Quick stores. Not confusing, you say? Just you wait. Some of these stores will offer you BP gasoline, some Exxon, some Texaco, and either Baskin-Robbins, Crystal, Subway, or Taco Bell fast food. They're all different. Only one thing's the same. Whether you need to fill up your pickup or pick up some fill-up, you get it on the double at Double Quick.
White Chevrolet Chrysler wants you to know when it comes to parts and service, we provide you with the most up-to-date service personnel and equipment available with over 120 years experience. We have the area's largest parts inventory, specializing in mechanical and body parts, providing you with one of the area's best body shops. Our low overhead means you save money with more leverage to lower your costs, providing you the best sales and service. White Chevrolet Chrysler in Manchester, one of the oldest established dealerships in Eastern Kentucky.
And we're back to the second half, 40-26. Paintsville leading over Williamsburg as Van Hoos inbounds the basketball. And here we go with Matt Ratliff controlling. John, you got some statistics.
Todd Darrell Maynard, our statistics man, showing that Paintsville shooting 61% in the first half to Williamsburg's 42%. But I tell you what, both teams with 15 rebounds in the first half, so post play pretty even so far.
And the game really started off where it was back and forth, but Paintsville took control by the end of it. I think they wore down Williamsburg more than anything with their big guys. But Williamsburg does come down with the basketball. They'll look to get Ryan Wilson involved. And also one of their top scorers, Craig Hodges, shut down. The average is 12. He has the basketball. They're playing good defense on it. When I talked to Bill Mike Runyon for Paintsville, he told me their plan on stopping Wilson, Ryan Wilson, the big man for Williamsburg, would either be to front him or double down on him. It looks like they've been doing a lot of doubling down. As Paintsville controls, they had the easy layup, if they'll get one a travel. So there's a break. Williamsburg drawing some early breaks.
That's true. And, you know, that's only Paintsville's third turnover of the game. Excellent ball control so far. Williamsburg with 8 turnovers. So you got to expect Paintsville maybe having some advantage over that.
The Williamsburg bench showing a little concern, but nonetheless, they made it to this stage by winning a big game over MC Napier. A lot of people didn't predict that, but here they are in the semifinals, 1 game away from making it to the championship, which, by the way, will be held tomorrow. First game about 6:30, and a championship game to follow. Jay Lunds with the left hand cans the 3, and if Williamsburg needed something, that would be it. Lunds is extremely competitive, not the biggest scorer, only about 4 or 5 points, and now he'll take a layup in, and he can cut this thing to 9, and he does, 40-31.
Paintsville's zone defense showing a 2-3 there, and it helped to get the turnover. Jay Lunds is now 7 points.
Yeah, that shows you what kind of competitor he is. The competitors come out in the big games. He's 5 over his season average. Paintsville looks a little lethargic, but Lyon will try to change it. He can't, but there's Paintsville with the steal, Williamsburg with the steal. Lunds will run it out and take it to the hole.
Foul looks like it's going to be on. No shot, they say. Number 12 of Paintsville, and that's Todd Tackett, his second foul. So Tackett will take a seat, and we get one of the rotation members in there. That's Brad Sargent. He'll replace Tackett.
Right now, Jay Lunds, and this is looking a lot better for Williamsburg. They came into the half trailing by 14. They'll inbound the basketball. They have a chance to cut it to 6 or 7. Wilson puts one up, can't get the friendly roll, but there's Roy West with the rebound tie-up by Sargent. Basketball, the arrow points to Williamsburg.
Both teams starting to be a little more aggressive out here in the second half, but you're right, both teams looking a little tired.
If the Yellow Jackets hope to get in, they'll have to hit some outside shots. They can't count on just Wilson. They'll have to have somebody get hot. Gonzalez helped him in the first period. Will he help him in the third? Not that time. Nice rebound by Sargent. Brad Sargent, a 5'10 senior, swings it out to Lyon, swings it back out to Ratliff. Ratliff to Sargent, back out to Lyon, inside to Van Hoos, who does a little circle hook. Can't get it to foul, but there's Sargent, a kind of a blue-collar worker, Johnny. He's shaking up a little bit, but he's all right. Paintsville controls. Van Hoos, they'll call the offensive foul, and Bill Mike Runyon, for the first time, is getting on the official. And you see the Williamsburg fans, they like that. J.R. Van Hoos, a costly one. You're looking at a 3-point swing. If he makes that and hits the free throw, so that could be a big turnaround point.
And I think one of the main reasons Bill Mike Runyon's upset, that was a late whistle, too.
We're down to 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, and Paintsville hasn't scored a point yet since halftime. So whatever Williamsburg talked about, it's worked, but Ratliff controls the basketball. And there's Van Hoos to follow.
Absolutely out of control, but he still got it to go.
Would you ever guess he was a freshman if you hadn't seen him play before?
He plays like he's been out there for at least 4 years.
Wilson tries the 3, and he has been out there for 4 years, and he connects. 42-34, 4:40 showing on the clock. So Williamsburg right there within distance. If they can make some shots, they can get back in. Paintsville will do everything in their power not to allow that to happen. Good ball movement. It's been the most impressive thing. Matt Ratliff with the basketball at the top.
You see the 2-3 zone is absolutely keeping the ball out of the middle.
Brian Lyon, who had a big first half, goes cold. Jerry Hodges takes a bad shot, John, but they missed the foul. Ryan Wilson with the easy basket, maybe trying to get a little fancy. And Paintsville really looks a little shaken up right now.
Well, I think Paintsville could really use this TV timeout they've got coming to them right now. Bill Mike Runyon really wanting to get his troops back together. Poor decision there on the pass, trying to force it a little bit, so maybe they'll talk that over in the timeout.
I'm sure they will. 42-34, 4:08 on the clock. We're coming right back.
Get a great deal on a new car at Cardinal Chevrolet Cadillac Geo. Are you ready for a great deal? A money-saving party. We got new and used car, trucks, and vans. We'll get you kick-started. Yeah, our service and selection are out of sight. Come deal with us, we're gonna treat you right.
I'm a Chevrolet Cadillac Geo.
Manchester Square Shopping Center on Highway 421 at the Daniel Boone Parkway is your best choice for convenience and selection. From locally owned businesses to regional and national stores, we work hard to bring you the products and services you deserve. Manchester Square, home of Winn-Dixie, Walmart, Dobson & Keith, EKU, and many others. Visit us soon and let our friendly hometown folks treat you to an enjoyable shopping experience.
Williamsburg controls the basketball down by 8 points, but they've outscored Paintsville 8-2 in the second half. Hodges, Gonzalez, Hodges. Will he shoot the three? He likes to, and he buries it. Folks, we've got a basketball game, 42-37. Hodges adds 3 points. Those are his first three, John.
That's his first three so far. Ineffective, but now he's starting to get on. Well, blocked for Todd Tackett. I tell you what, I checked that. Jay Luntz for Williamsburg, and he's got 2 fouls right now.
It was an interesting contrast in coaching styles during the break. In Paintsville's side, Bill Mike Runyon was letting the players have it. Looking over on the Williamsburg side, they were really loose. Looked like they were just having fun. But maybe one of the guys he let have it, Brian Lyon, listened to him because he comes out and scores his first 2 of the second half after having an outstanding game so far.
Paintsville on the half-court trap. And it worked. Gets the turnover. You got to wonder, Paintsville, they're looking strong out here, like maybe that the halftime rest is really what they needed, and they're out here starting the full-court traps here in the third quarter.
Paintsville led the game 40-26 at halftime, and you had to believe they felt a little bit of that comfort zone. Well, that comfort zone has disappeared in a large part, but they still have a 7-point lead. Paintsville moving the ball around nicely. Matt Ratliff inside to Brian Lyon. Beautiful ball fake, but Gonzalez is there for the tip. Roy West controls, and Hodges will take it up court.
Good hands by Gonzalez.
Lunds to Wilson, this time for the 2-pointer, and yes, it's good. 44-39, Paintsville walking the ball down court, but John, we're looking at a 5-point basketball game.
We really are, and Paintsville, you got to wonder, they're trying to get back into it now.
The Paintsville mentally is trying to get back into this basketball game. They still haven't gotten there yet.
You mentioned the comfort zone. That comfort zone is not much now.
That comfort zone pretty soon may be a very uncomfortable zone if they're not careful. Jay Luntz with the pickoff, and right now Williamsburg owns this basketball game. Roy West says, I'll swing it back out, and almost swings it away. But they want to get it to their big man, and Ryan Wilson has an easy shot.
And the big man can handle the ball.
3-point game, 2:05 on the ticker, Paintsville with the lead. The crowd for Williamsburg is coming to its feet. Lyon can shut him up a little bit, but he can't make it. Ratliff with a big rebound, and they'll call the foul. Looks like it will go on Gonzalez, and he doesn't like it. He has to be careful.
Well, Gonzalez trying to contend. He had his hands up, but the ref says a little push there.
Something about the intensity of this Mountain Classic. It's a lot different, John. You've been out at a lot of games this season. I'm sure you can feel the difference as Vernon replaces Gonzalez in the lineup.
Definitely. When you talk about tournament atmosphere, well, you got a tournament, and we certainly have the atmosphere.
Paintsville may be pressing. Ratliff misses an easy shot, but comes back, can't get the tip. The ball not falling, but give him credit. Paintsville hitting the offensive glass, playing with a lot of emotion. Brian Lyon that time, but the ball, there must be a lid on that basket for Paintsville in this quarter.
Well, now, sorry, Todd, I was just going to say, but I'll tell you what, we got 3 players from Williamsburg in foul trouble. That's Jay Luntz's third. Craig Hodges, he had 3. He got those 3 in the first half, and now Robbie Gonzalez with 3. So Bill Perkins, he's going to start looking to the bench.
15-4 up to these free throws has been the scoring margin that Williamsburg has outplayed Paintsville in this period. And without question, Paintsville had the basketball game well under control at halftime. They look like they might even blow them out, but it hasn't worked out that way for them. That time they're going to call Vernon on the foul, but Roy West is looking to the bench like, what can I do? I'm boxing out, but I'm outsized. I'm 6'1", and I can't get any rebounds because that's what hurt him that time. Now here comes Gonzalez inside for Lunds, John, and they'll actually play Gonzalez, who's a big body at the point guard.
That's right. You see Ryan Wilson, they're trying to stack him in there. Nice inbound play. Williamsburg picked it up quick.
Ratliff, and this Ratliff makes it. Matt to Craig to the 2, and that gives him a little breathing room. It's 46-41. Paintsville bench settling down a little bit with 1:20 to play. Gonzalez pressure, they need to get it up court, and they do. Vernon will take the shot, and Van Hoos gets it out of there. Gonzalez the follow for 2, and right now the ball is bouncing in Williamsburg's direction.
8 points for Gonzalez, and I tell you what, Ryan Wilson on fire. He has 21 already.
And you just wonder, that long drive, it had to be nerve-wracking. The weather's been rough. If it's taking Williamsburg a little while to get their legs under them. They have them now.
Well, that time Wilson and Ryan Lyon battling down low, and Van Hoos, he's going to come in there and try to contain them, but they're having a real problem with Wilson right now.
Also, the Williamsburg team is having a tremendous problem with rebounding. And if you keep giving them second shots, Paintsville will kill you. And that's what they're going to have to watch. Van Hoos, another 2. And really, their big 3 have all played well so far for Paintsville. Van Hoos, Lyon, and Rattler.
Excellent trap by Paintsville, but an excellent way for Williamsburg to get out of it and come up with a big 3-pointer.
Only a freshman, Mark Vernon, the son, of course, of Randy Vernon, the coach for Cumberland. 48-46 game, and this is as close as they've been, and who knows, since the Ice Age, John, but they're right there. It's been a long time.
Well, the Williamsburg fans really getting into it, and now Paintsville's going to try to get it going.
10 seconds now on the clock. Paintsville will shoot the last shot, or they'll try to. They will try to go for it, and Ratliff will take it, and it's stolen by Vernon. 2 seconds on the clock. Basket will count, and it's Greg Hodges who gets it. Folks, don't look now. Don't look now, but it's 48-48, John, as we go to the fourth.
And what kind of momentum would you have to ask for Williamsburg? You know, that really helps.
We'll find out what it does when we return after this break.
When nature calls, return the call on a Honda 4Trax all-terrain vehicle. Honda 4Trax ATVs, made in the USA, for fun in the USA.
Come by Andy's Honda and check out the 2-wheel and 4-wheel Hondas that have just arrived.
It will reshape attitudes and turn heads. It is smart. It's about style, inside and out. It's about safety, like dual airbags and meeting 1997 side impact standards today. It's about choice, 2 doors or 4 doors. These are the times. This is the car. It's the all-new Tercel from Toyota.
We're back. You can see the score, 48-48. It was 40-26 Paintsville at half. Williamsburg outscores them 22-8, John, in the third quarter.
And Todd, Williamsburg shooting 80% from the three-point arc, so that's really helped them get back in the game.
And right now, this Paintsville club is not playing with confidence at all. You can see them swinging the basketball, but they need to get some baskets. The one thing they've done well is rebound throughout, and they need a couple of offensive rebounds to maybe get them back in the groove. Van Hoos to Ratliff. Matt to JR. JR to Matt. And Matt buries it. An unsung hero hands the big 3. He averages 5, nails that one. Vernon, who's been red hot. Inside for Williamsburg to Gonzalez. It will count.
Well, Gonzalez just absolutely took it up strong there and flipped it in. And I tell you what, 10 points for Gonzalez right now, and he's playing well.
And before the break, before this tournament, talking to Coach Perkins, he was averaging in the last couple of games, Gonzalez was about 18 points per contest. So he's found his rhythm, and it shows he's a good-looking basketball player.
He really is. Brad Sargent in the game now for Paintsville, so they're going to try to get the bodies down low.
Brad Sargent is an athlete for Paintsville, a scrapper all the way. He's 5'10", but he plays bigger than that, and he plays smart. I think he's the kind of guy you want on the court in crunch time.
He really is.
Ryan Van Hoos, oh, what a touch. Only a freshman. When they called him one of the best in the nation at his age, I believe them now.
14 points for Van Hoos right now. Good trap. Paintsville wanting a walk. 53 to 50. Vernon swings it to Hodges. He'll dial 3 and not get an answer that time. Nice rebound by Brian Lyons. Surrounded by Yellow Jackets, he comes away with it. Williamsburg really trying to get the momentum continuing, but Paintsville with the big defensive rebounds trying to stop that.
Not an ill-advised shot for Matt, but there's J.R. J.R. Van Hoos is starting to pile up the numbers. 55 to 50. Paintsville, 6:35 on the clock, fourth period. Paintsville led by 14 at halftime, so Williamsburg is feeling pretty good about themselves still that they're in this basketball game.
Now Paintsville shows the 2-3 zone. Now they drop back into man-to-man.
And a bad pass that time, one of the few real bad plays, but Roy West had no business trying to get the ball to Wilson, but nonetheless, you know, anybody would try it.
Good block by Ryan Wilson, absolutely clean. And momentum may be on Williamsburg's side again. A basket would certainly help.
And he wasn't blocking a short player, he was blocking a 6'9" player. We have a timeout on the court. It's 55 to 50 Paintsville, and we'll be right back to the Morton Holmes Athletic Complex.
I'll be right back. I'll sit down for you, and I'll be right behind you.
Cypress Mountain Coals operates under one mandate: safety first. Our people are our greatest asset, and we do what it takes to protect them. EMTs in our workforce, state-certified ambulance services at each location, award-winning first aid teams, and on-site medical services. Mountain Coals recognizes that safety, morale, and productivity are inseparable. Cypress. Mountain Coals, mountain people.
In Kentucky, basketball is king, but there's only one king of comfort.
Hello, I'm Jim Skaggs of Big Sandy Heating and Air Conditioning. I've earned the title the King of Comfort by providing my customers with high-efficiency, quality Lennox heat pumps. In fact, I've installed more high-efficiency Lennox heat pumps than any other dealer in eastern Kentucky. And because I custom fabricate your duct system, you will achieve even higher efficiencies and comfort. Call me today at 297-HEAT or 297-COOL.
Paintsville has outscored Williamsburg 7-2 in the fourth period. In doing so, they've gone out to a 5-point lead, and they've done a pretty good job on Ryan Wilson.
They have. Of course, Bill Mike Runyon telling J.R. Van Hoos in the timeout, we work on post moves every day. Give him a ball fake, then go up.
We'll see if he does. Gonzalez. Hodges. Gonzalez. 2 points. 55 to 52, 5.5 showing on the clock. Playing a little catch is Paintsville, not quite worried about using up too little time. They certainly want to use a lot of time. They're not in any hurry, John. Nice move. You called it perfectly. There's the move in the paint. That'll keep Ryan Wilson on his heels. 57-52. And the foul, that time, it looked pretty close, but it's called nonetheless, and Tim Collins will be shooting on this one.
Looks like Brian Lyon is charged with the foul, and that is his second foul. Going into the game now, Jay Luntz, and what a game he has had so far. Luntz is, so far he has 7 points, but I tell you what, he's, like you said, he's a scrapper out there.
What they do at that position, that forward position, they shift in 3 guys, and they really, none of them score a lot of points, but and that one misses by about a hair, but they all score about 3 or 4 or 5 points, and that all averages, when you all things considered, to about 12, 13 points a ball game, which isn't bad.
Definitely.
Could cut it to 4, and he hits the second, so we're looking at a 4-point game, about 5 minutes to play, a hair over 5 minutes. Paintsville with the basketball. Matt Ratliff has played a solid game outside. He switches it to Sargent. Brad Sargent with the basketball. He doesn't really look like much of a basketball player, but Brad Sargent plays big, and Craig Ratliff misses a shot.
Well, and then when you follow, that's what you get.
They did not box out Ratliff on his way to the hole, and that will kill Williamsburg if they don't start doing that. They let Ratliff follow his shot right to the basket. They've got to get a body if they want to be successful. 59 to 53.
There you saw Craig Ratliff in 6 points so far in this half.
Lund's in the ball game, and he can make things happen. Swings it outside to Collins. Lund's nice drive. This time they'll launch it. The big man, no, he can't get the bounce, but Gonzalez inside. Craig Hodges, their big scorer from the outside, John. Not even close, but they got a break, and that really was a break with Gonzalez going to the line.
Tell you what, Van Hoos picks up his third foul, and looks like he had position, but he may have leaned the body in just a tad, and if you do that under the goal and the refs are standing right there, they're going to call it.
Freshman Mark Vernon replaces Hodges in the lineup. Vernon, he hit some big three-pointers in the third quarter and hit some shots. He's playing with confidence. If he can keep it up, that'll be a lift that Williamsburg might need. Gonzalez shoots the first and nothing but that. I've been impressed with the free throw shooting, how high the percentage is, but the concentration has been pretty good. Robbie Gonzalez, I just like to say his name. I don't know why. You don't hear too many Gonzalez's around here. 59 to 55. Paintsville with the lead and the basketball. Matt Ratliff kind of looking like the Globetrotter there for a second with a lot of moves. Brian Lyon for three, not even close. Ryan Wilson goes for the basketball, but who will get possession? It looks like Paintsville.
Looks like Paintsville. I'll tell you, J.R. Van Hoos gave the signal to Lyon to go ahead and shoot it. He was ready for the rebound.
And Ryan Wilson is one of the top, if not the top rebounder at last check in the state. So he's no chop liver out there, and he's having a whale of a time trying to stop him. Here they go again.
Excellent block there from Williamsburg.
It is, but when
Tim
you start
Collins,
giving 3 or 4 shots.
That's right. Well, they're going to work the perimeter and try to hold it for a few seconds anyway. Paintsville trying to take control, trying to stop Williamsburg's momentum.
Williamsburg again. They don't look like they're going to force anything. They're only down by 4, and this may serve to their advantage to catch up on their legs because they're tired and they're not getting off their feet on the rebounds. Paintsville has a lot of springs still left in their legs. We'll just have to wait and see. I do have a sneaking suspicion that there will be a lot of free throw shooting down the end.
I would say probably so.
It may turn into a free throw shooting contest, and Brian Lyon will be the one who will go to the line this time.
Wilson picks up his third foul. So we talked about fouls earlier on. Jay Luntz, Craig Hodges, Robbie Gonzalez, and now Ryan Wilson, all with 3 fouls. So maybe a little tentative coming down to the stretch, but they know they got to give it all in this last 3 minutes.
I beg your pardon, Lyon not going to the free throw line there, and it costs Paintsville because he throws it away. Jay Lunds with the basketball. 3 minutes showing on the clock. Lunds back with the basketball, playing pitch and catch with Vernon in the backcourt.
And you know, a clean second half, neither team in the bonus.
59 to 55, it's Paintsville, and they're going to get a double dribble, and I'll tell you, that is a tough one when you're out there and you don't even get a shot. Sargent, give him credit. That was great defense being played by Brad Sargent.
Lutz under the gun and just trying to dribble, not past his socks, trying to get the low dribble in. Didn't work.
You see that? Sargent of defense out there, maybe Sergeant Carter, but he got the job done. Van Hoos, look at those arms. He plays with such patience. Ratliff inside, swings it. Sargent come up with it, and he'll just take it to the hole.
Well, not only defensively, but offensively, he's having a great game, and his first 2 of the game there.
Yeah, he's one of these role players who comes up big. Hodges with the big 3, and we've got a 3-point game with 2:24 to show. Paintsville the lead. Matt Ratliff almost wasn't looking to his Lyon, but he looked just in the nick of time. Lyon will take it up strong, kind of out of control, but he's got the basket in the foul.
Well, the paint was just absolutely open, an open door for Lyon, and by the time the defense collapsed down there, they had to foul him. So Gonzalez picks up his 4th foul.
Brian Lyon is such a good athlete. When I first heard that he averaged, well, not that he averaged, but that he was 6'6", I had to look and ask twice, maybe 3 times, because you just don't see a kid with his agility at 6'6" very often. Ratliff that time bullies out Gonzalez, and right now Williamsburg getting pushed around out there.
This time Lyon will go up Well, number 44, Ryan Wilson, picks up his 4th foul. Into the game now, Roy West makes a return visit, and he will replace Tim Collins, the freshman. He has 2 fouls on him.
Both teams playing extremely tough. Give Paintsville all the credit in the world. They flat out shut down Ryan Wilson recently. John, we haven't mentioned his name in the last few minutes, and we're talking about crunch time.
Only
6. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
John.
I was just saying only 4 points that we figured up so far in this second half.
65 to 58. Paintsville with the lead. Williamsburg with the basketball. 2:02 showing on the shot clock. Lunds, Hodges, Gonzalez, West. There he is, Ryan Wilson, and gets the spin, and they did need that basket. It's a 5-point game, 65 to 60, a low-scoring affair, 1:45 to play.
Well, we heard they were going to try to double down on him, and they did that time, but Wilson just too strong.
Bill Mike Runyon says, we don't want any more of that right now. We'll take a timeout. So, folks, here we go. We're looking at a 65 to 60 score, 1:40 to play, and it's been a very interesting ball game.
Well, if you're Paintsville, do you try to run some time off the clock with a 5-point lead? I think you do. I think you go out there, work the perimeter a little bit, get Brian Lyon out playing point maybe, and get him in the circle like he was doing earlier, and that really worked playing the perimeter against the 2-3 zone.
And I'm not so sure if it's a bad idea if you're Williamsburg, if you don't start just sending guys and they're fouling them, sending them to the free throw line, because number 1, you can't let them eat up the clock, and number 2, you can't keep giving up these offensive rebounds. And that's what's killed. If there's been a deciding factor, it's been the rebounding, and that's been Paintsville's hustle, and they've worn Williamsburg out.
And surprisingly, Sargent's been in there. He's been just poking his nose down low in the trees and coming up with some rebounds. So when they work that offensive glass, it takes a little bit out of Williamsburg's sails.
Good point, John, the fresh legs. Sargent, not real big at about 5'10", but he has the fresh legs. And he's played very good basketball for him, and he's a senior, and he's a leader out there, kind of calms the rest of the guys down. But Paintsville has played very, very well. They played smart when they were down. That's a sign of a good team. This quarter was even coming in. They've outscored them by 5. Paintsville with the ball, but you also can't say enough about the Yellow Jackets effort.
That's true. They're out there, and they're still pressing. So here's what we're going to see. If Paintsville tries to run out of the perimeter, are they going to put somebody out there? And what Williamsburg looks like now, they're going to. They're going to stack right in the middle.
I think for Williamsburg, you can look for Ryan Wilson and Vernon. Vernon possibly, if he returns to the game, not in there now, but beg your pardon, Craig Hodges also. But we got an early foul, so it looks like the game plan will be to foul Paintsville. 1:38 showing and a 5-point deficit.
Well, that's Hodges' 4th foul, and that does put Paintsville on the bonus. So Matt Ratliff will go to the line, and so far he has 9 points, but those are 3 threes, so we'll see how he is on the short-range shots.
Exactly. From the season, they're 64% Paintsville is. Shoots this one and he makes this one. Matt Ratliff has played a solid game.
Well, for Williamsburg, here comes Mark Vernon. He will replace Gonzalez. And Vernon really only with 2 fouls, so he'll be able to get in there and not worry about getting into foul trouble.
He also may be looking for the 3-pointer if he's got it. They've got 3 guys out there who they'll really probably look for when they get the basketball back. Wilson this time, they're going to call it, I think, on Ratliff, John, for going over the back of Wilson. And really, there could have possibly been a couple of others of those. Paintsville has come out pretty good on the foul end of things, I think.
Yeah, they really have. As hard as they've been working the glass and to only have that many fouls, they're getting a break.
Pouring all their offensive players in Williamsburg out of the game is Tim Collins. Robbie Gonzalez back in. How many fouls is that for Gonzalez that we show?
Gonzalez has 4 fouls right now. Looks like this foul is going to be away from the ball. It's going to be against Brian Lyon, apparently. And that's what they say. Brian Lyon picks up his, he's trying to plead his case. He picks up his 3rd foul, trying to plead his case to the refs, but that's not going to work.
You can only politic so much. But here we go, about a minute and a half. And, Williamsburg now, the free throws, they're not important, they're crucial. You start missing them now, and you're in trouble. If you make them, you can get yourself back in. They trail by 6. A minute 33, and they need to really hit all their free throws.
Jay Luntz there, you see him, he's back into the game now. So maybe they're looking for the 3-pointers like you mentioned, but the minute 33 left.
They miss it, and no offensive pressure at all on the rebound. Paintsville in good shape, a minute 28 to play, up by 6. Sargent drives, and Sargent takes a hard foul, and I hope he's all right, John. He looks like he'll rise as a tough kid.
He's a competitor, he really is. The foul's going to be against number 14 there. You saw him briefly there on the screen. That is Craig Hodges, and that will be his last one. So Bill Perkins has to go to the bench. Looks like he's going to bring in Mark Vernon to replace Hodges.
Hodges, not a good ball game for him. He played hard but wasn't effective. How many points?
Looks like he had unofficially 8 points in the game and 2 threes, so not really the range he wanted probably.
That's 4 under his season's average, so he played a hard ball game. They've all played tough, but he didn't get the point total that they were looking for tonight. Sargent not getting the roll, and that's a way to let the visitors, or I shouldn't say the visitors, but let the Yellow Jackets hang in. It's the next one. A minute 20 showing on the clock, 67-60. Williamsburg now with the 7-point deficit. They're trailing, looking for some points. Wilson won't go, and who else gets a rebound but Sargent?
He's a tough kid. You're right.
Controlling are the Tigers. Lunds takes them down hard. No need to get too excited. You hear a lot of fans. It's just good basketball, and both teams are fatigued and playing tough. It's been a clean basketball game, hard fought but clean.
Well, Lunds to pick up his fourth, and that's one thing that the refs really need to do, and I think they've done so far. Yes. They kept the game in control. Not a lot of tempers flaring, and I tell you what, Paintsville, they are a rough and tumble team when they get out on the floor, and sometimes the tempers do flare, especially when they get into rivalries like they did with Allen Central. But tonight, so far, a very clean game for both teams.
Excellent, excellent. And, you know, the thing is Sargent makes the first free throw. 68-60 Paintsville, about a minute on the clock. It's easy to criticize the officials, but in this case, they deserve to be complimented because they've done a good job at this. They've let the guys play, but we haven't seen a lot of dirty play. It's been a good game. I'd say, if anything, they've let it be on the physical side, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right, and like you said, you have to compliment the officials. When you don't talk a lot about the officials on the broadcast, or when you don't see both coaches complain or crying to them, you know that they're doing their job. When they're unnoticed, they're doing a good job.
John, about a minute 4, so this game's far from being over, and we know better than as sportscasters to say it's over. It looks like Paintsville is in very good shape. Just to look ahead with our crystal ball at tonight's game, Breathitt County and in action against Knott Central, the host team here. How do you see both of those shaping up? Let's just say that Paintsville hangs on to this game.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think the important thing for Knott Central is to come out. They played 4 solid quarters last night of absolutely hard-nosed basketball. Do they have the legs to come out against Breathitt County? Breathitt County, they kind of breezed in that game, surprisingly, against Allen Central, the 15th region champs. They won 75-50. So you got to wonder if Breathitt County may have a little bit of advantage because they probably cruised in the fourth quarter, where Knott County Central had to absolutely play hard-nosed in that fourth quarter.
Oh, you're not kidding. That was a whale of a game. Coming up next, Keith Case, Jim Frazier. John, you'll be on the sidelines and have a halftime guest for the next game, and that will be our second semifinal, of course, Breathitt County and Knott Central. Stay with us, and then we got sports overtime afterwards. It's kind of like having dessert, dinner, and another dessert. Rebound for Roy West, and not the kind of thing that Paintsville wants is the early foul. A minute 2 to play, and here they take no time off the clock. They get a pushing. Williamsburg goes to the line with a chance to cut it to 6.
That's true, and you know Bill Mike Grundon not liking that. When you're up 8 points, you don't want to give Williamsburg a chance to put more points on the board without running time off the clock.
What I love about this more than anything, I see the cheerleaders are laughing and having fun, and that's Williamsburg's whole attitude. They're getting ready for the All-A tournament, as is Paintsville. Both of these teams will certainly be factors as he misses the free throw, but they're having fun. The rebound and the near impossible shot won't go, and this time Ryan Wilson over the back.
Yeah, number 44 for Williamsburg. He was absolutely trying to get in there and just went all over the back. So that's Ryan Wilson's last foul, and they'll have to put in number 40, who returns to the game. That's Tim Collins. Well, actually, looks like the person replacing him will be number 24. That's Sean Collins. Now, Sean Collins in the game earlier, no points. So Wilson takes a seat on the bench, and we'll figure up his point totals in just a second. But Ryan Wilson, a solid game. They had some problems with him down low, but in the second half, they tried to shut him down, and that's going to send Craig Ratliff to the line.
Ratliff has been effective from the free throw line tonight, folks. He's played a solid basketball game. He's right around his average, I think, in scoring, which is about 18 points. But he's had a good basketball game. Ratliff makes the second.
That's his 16th point of the game.
So he's pretty much right on it. 70-60, 10-point game, about 50 seconds, and Williamsburg needs to shoot the basketball. Vernon does, won't go, and here goes Paintsville on the break. Yeah, that time they got out of control. Vernon Gonzalez will try the three-pointer with the foul. Right out in front of the bench of Williamsburg, so well, they're kind of hanging, trying to make it interesting, but with 38 seconds left, it doesn't look real good for Williamsburg, but the effort was real good. Looks like they'll be in the consolation round, barring a real big turnaround now.
J.R. Van Hoos with the foul, and if Gonzalez was shooting a three, he should get 3 free throws. I'm not sure
if he was inside the line or not, so we'll have to wait on that. It was right on it if we could get a call on that. But we'll have a timeout right now, John, in 38 seconds. 70 to 60. Is there such a thing as a 10-point shot?
Well, if there were, I'm sure Williamsburg would try to figure it out. Maybe that's what Bill Perkins is doing right now. But we'll get our first look at Chad Price, who won the football players at Williamsburg. He'll be in the game for the last 38 seconds or so.
One of the nice things about a tournament at this time of year, too, is even if you lose this game, you get to play in the consolation. And that is very intense, as we saw last year in the WYMT Classic. There's a bigger crowd out overall because you have an overflow for the championship game, plus your fans. So it's still, and you're playing in that tournament atmosphere, which gets you ready. And these teams are getting ready for the All-A. And speaking of All-A, we'll have highlights tonight on Sports Overtime on the girls.
That's true. The girls All-A in the, is it 13th, 14th, and 15th regions underway tonight?
Yeah, well, we've got the 14th semifinals, 15th finals, and 13th finals. So 13th, Everts and Harlan, and the 14th, a couple of semifinals. Hazard involved in that, Fleming Neon involved in that, Cordia involved in one, and Jenkins also involved. And 15th, we're talking about Millard, and I believe if the second team comes in mind, John, I'll pass it along in just a second.
It looks like he was outside of the arc, so Robbie Gonzalez will get 3 free throws.
70 to 61, your score now is Gonzalez. And Allen Central, by the way, it dawned on me, is the other team in the All-A final. So we've got everything up to snuff. We've got a 9-point game, 38 seconds to play. And the crowd hasn't stopped cheering yet. They've been into it. I think we're going to have a good second game also. A lot of fans piling. It's an 8-point game, and the fouls are coming. And this one, Williamsburg didn't like.
No. Mark Vernon thought he had position. He thought that Matt Ratliff might have been a little bit out of control. But Mark Vernon will pick up his 3rd foul. And into the game, here comes Jay Luntz. And in for Paintsville, J.R. Van Hoos and Craig Ratliff.
How would you like to see those two giants coming at you when you're out there at about 6'1", 6'2", and here comes 6'8", 6'9", ready to attack the boards after a little break.
Right, and you check out Williamsburg. They've got the shooters in there, so they've got the smaller guys in. They're going to take a timeout.
If you look at the starting lineup, let's look at it, for Paintsville and the kind of problems that they possess. First of all, you're talking about a guy who can run it like Matt Ratliff. He's about 6'2". He's the short guy, or one of them. Todd Tackett, 6'2". He's a freshman out there. Both of these guys play solid. Then you got the big 3, Brian Lyon, who really does everything. They kind of use him as a Michael Jordan role.
They really do.
6'6", and then we'll talk about the inside players. Craig Ratliff at 6'8", J.R. Van Hoos at 6'9". That's a lot of talent.
Those are 3 players. Well, even the whole starting 5 for Paintsville has led them to, like you said, an 11-4 record, and maybe going on to 12-4. But this is a team that really has their eyes focused on the 15th region crown. And last year, still a strong team with Van Hoos. Even as an 8th grader, he was awesome last year. But an honorable mention All-America in Street and Smith as a freshman. And when you got a player like that in the mountains and a player on a team like this that's got the good backups like Brian Lyon, like Todd Tackett, a freshman, like Craig and Matt Ratliff, this is a team that's going to experience a lot of success as we go on through the season.
First one good by Matt Ratliff, and really the big problem so far in the 15th, really the only problem has been Allen Central. They've beat Paintsville twice, and Allen Central got knocked out of this thing a lot earlier than most people expected, and they got knocked out in a big fashion by Breathitt County. We'll see Breathitt and Knott coming up next, 72 to 62, and it seems like I've said 30 seconds for the last 30 minutes. Rebound, a big one by Todd Tackett, and for a freshman again, these are kids, think about it, 9th graders going against this kind of talent out here, and they've really held up well.
I'll tell you what, Mark Vernon, the other freshman, takes the foul, and they're starting to get a little frustrated. One fan there wants an intentional foul. I don't know about that, but I tell you what, Williamsburg really gave it their all tonight, and they're hanging their heads a little low, but you can expect these teams, both these teams, to do well when the season continues.
They certainly had everybody at the edge of their seats when Hodges hit the shot as we got ready for the fourth period with a tied game. But Paintsville has showed their strength, taken over. Tackett hits the first, misses the second. 11-point lead, 73-62 for the Tigers. 20 seconds to play. A little sloppy out there now. Chad Price throws one up and gets it. Price, the football player, is an all-conference player at 73-65. And there it is, Brian Lyon-John. There's your exclamation point.
That was it, Todd. You're right. 75-65, 9 seconds left. And what a way to end the game for Paintsville in the dunk. It's a high percentage shot.
That's right. That'll leave everybody on their side feeling good. Again, Williamsburg has put up an effort. They have to feel good. That one goes up about 8 rows in the stands. The kick up there, and got to return the basketball, though. We only have so many.
No souvenirs at the WYMT Mountain Classic.
No, we can't give them all the basketballs away. But I think the fans have had a lot of fun. Thank goodness we were able to get these games, and we were both praying for no cancellations. Really? Robbie Gonzalez throws it up there. Nothing. Van Hoos, the final rebound of the game. And that'll be it, folks.
Now go ahead and call.
75-65. Paintsville with the victory over a very game Williamsburg club. Paintsville will play in the finals tomorrow night. Williamsburg, the consolation. And coming up for you, coming up next, it's Knott Central and Breathitt County. And, of course, we'll be back with sports overtime after that. But first, we'll go ahead and take a break.
Confidence is a big part of succeeding in